Well, we're back again in the same group.
I know.
This is so fun.
Hey, Miss Christian.
Okay, so we were just talking about how we can support home language if it's not our language. So like me, I'm monolingual. I just speak one language.
Me too.
So everything is, I have to resource out. I have to ask for help. I'm thinking of students I have now, like we talked about in the last session, how I have a student who speaks Hmong, and I thank my lucky stars every single day that my parent speaks Hmong. And so she is my resource for that language. What are other things that we could do to ensure that those families feel represented or supported, or even that they know what's going on if they don't speak English that well? What are some things we could do?
Well, same here. I kind of branch out to my assistants to help me with translating with the parent, because, you know, especially like on parent-teacher conferences, I have someone there with me so I can talk to them and they can talk back right there. Even we can have our notes sent home translated so the parents can know what's going on. And then my biggest thing that I think I should try is to learn a few words in the language, you know, like our key vocabulary words or whatever we might be learning at that point. I think I'm gonna just start there and just start by learning how to say hello in a few different languages, just a welcoming. Just as simple as
totally. I think that's such a good idea. Yeah, I think first just learning how to say hello in the language, which honestly is a little bit hard sometimes. Like my tongue doesn't want to move that way, but I try. Like I want everyone to feel welcome and included and loved and valued. And so I think learning a few key vocabulary, like you were saying, and especially now that we're learning about whole and having that vocabulary for every week. So I'm envisioning, you know, like just like we were talking about with labels, I'm envisioning translating all of our vocabulary into the languages that are represented in our classroom at the time. And then maybe sending, if you make up a sheet and it has ball, and then it has like ball in English, in Spanish, in Hmong, in Punjabi, like whatever is represented that year, and then sending that home maybe on the Friday before we talk about it. So parents can look and say like, hey, like, this is what they're talking about next week, and they have it all there for them. I'm thinking.
Yeah, that Google Translate is going to help us with that, I think.
I was going to say, Google Translate is my best friend because like you and I both, we only speak one language. And sometimes it's hard to track down people, even though we are so lucky we work at a center where people speak Spanish, people speak Hmong. I think that's it. Well, one of our subs speaks Punjabi. But sometimes it's hard to track those people down, or, you know, like if you need it right then.
But you know what? We have to keep this in mind when we do get started that, you know, I work with toddlers, twos, you work with, you know, the preschool, the threes, that it's probably not going to be so intimidating because at that point, they're still developing their language. So as we're developing our, you know, different words that we're trying to learn in their languages, you know, it won't be so bad because, you know, they're learning small words and we'll be learning with them. So that's why I'm not going to be so intimidated once we get started with this.
I agree. I think we just need to dive in and try. And we'll just, let's just say we're learning with them, Aisha.
Yeah, we are.
When their parents come in, we can say like, can you, oh my gosh, I'm even thinking if you had your phone, you could have them say it. Like if you could record them saying like the word or whatever. So you could play it and say like, this is ball in English and this is ball in whatever language.
So you can keep hearing it and you'll start, just like how the children learn, we'll start learning as we keep hearing the word and trying to say it. Well, I will be fine.
Yeah, I think that's good. I don't know what my first step will be, but I think it will be, because I said my labels would be my first step for environment. I think this will also be whatever our vocabulary is. I love that you said to translate all of that too. I think that will be my first step. And then obviously send home, anything we send home would be in a language that the parents speak. So.
I think my first step is going to be to intentionally use my parents that's in my classroom, you know, to read a book in a different language or have an activity. So I'm just going to start there and kind of like branch off from there, because I'll start hearing the language in my ear more and start picking up more of the language. So just to have more of the conversations going, you know, because I got young toddlers and it's just more of them hearing the languages too and seeing it. So I'll start there.
I love it. I love it so much. Well, it was so good talking to you, Aisha.
Thanks nice so much. Talking to you too.